Sup everybody, my name is Kristen Mae Carbone and this is You, Me, and Brie Makes 3, a show about cheese. Today I'm covering my answers to your questions, so let's get started. Ta-da! So our first question was submitted to me by my father, who asked me in the car ride home from the train this weekend, are you going to do a cheese of the week? Yes. Yes, you're getting a cheese of the week, which will be paired with 2 different things, hopefully from, a rotating selection from your local grocery store, so you can get an idea of what to do with stuff that is locally available to you. I'm going to try to avoid specialty pairings unless I feel like bringing one in that I think is really exceptional, but you're going to start getting plating and pairing suggestions very, very soon, so get excited for that. And I will even maybe do some taste alongs. Corey asked, if you could only eat 3 cheeses for the rest of your life, what would they be? First one, without question, Foxglove from Tulip Tree Farms here in the States. It is a cow's milk wash rind. It is my favorite cheese, without question. Call me crazy, say whatever you want. I am obsessed. I love it. Anytime we can get it, I ask for it. It is amazing. It is a cow's milk wash rind, and it is fruity and it's funky, and especially when guests are trying to get used to wash rinds, it's also a really good cheese for that. It gets oozy. Oh, I'm obsessed with that cheese. I could eat it all day, every day, for the rest of my life. One of my second favorite cheeses, there are so many. I know this is hard for me, because every time I think about it, I'm like, oh, but what about that other one that I love? Let me throw it back to a place that I love. Shepherd's Store. It is from Ireland. It is from Tipperary. I love it. Sheep's milk pressed. We've gotten 2 wheels and both were a little bit different, but I still love both of them equally. The first time we got it was much harder. There was a little bit of crystallization in there. Then we've had a younger wheel recently that was a little bit more semi-firm, but both times I'm just like, I love this cheese. And then my third, Roquefort. I'll go for something traditional. I am obsessed with Roquefort. It's just always good. I actually really do love me some sheep's milk. If I had to pick a goat, if I had to pick from one from each milk type, do I go for Lake's Edge, which is amazing. It's a more bloomy style, ash, nice and creamy. Or one of my new current favorites right now is the Fresh Chev from Goat Rodeo Dairy, which is in Pennsylvania. Oh, I could just eat that just give me a bowl of that with a spoon and I am the happiest girl in the universe. It is just light and fluffy and a little tangy, but it just makes me so happy. I could put that on every plate. It is so damn good. But yeah, I think if I had to only do 3, without question, Foxy. I call her Foxy Lady, Foxglove. And Shepherd's Store and Roquefort. I had a thing for sheep's milk, what can I say? Ooh, that brings up a question that someone asked me this week. What are cheese crystals? They can be generally one of 2 things, which is either amino acid crystals or calcium lactate crystals. Basically kind of protein-y crystals that form inside harder cheeses or on the surface. And for most people, they're now considered something appreciative, that you appreciate or that you want, versus in a more industrial output where they might not be so interested. If they want a more smooth, consistent texture. Personally, I like them. I like a little crunch in my harder cheeses, but that's just me. But when you're eating them, that's not a bad thing. It's just a formation of the cheese process. Michaela asks, what is a great, so weird but it works pairing? Well, the example I always give is I was working one day and we had these mocha meringues, and I hadn't used a lot of them because I find with certain pairings, sometimes I need to sit down and play with a bunch of different cheeses to try to see how they might work together. But, mocha meringue is a pretty specific pairing anyway. So I happened to just take a bite with a cheese called Summer Snow. It's from Woodcock Family Farms here in the States. It's a sheep's milk. Me and my sheep cheeses. It's a creamy, bloomy sheep's milk cheese, and I just looked up at them and I looked at the cheese and went, let's see what happens. And I took a bite. It was magic. It was magic. I was like, this tastes like ice cream. And the coffee and the chocolate kind of brought out a creamy sweetness in the cheese, and the cheese kind of melded well with the mocha and the meringue, and the creaminess with the crisp. And I was like, I'm brilliant. I am so smart. I mean, it was one of those weird lucky chance things. I just happened to put them together. But every time I had the chance, pretty much after that, I would put them together, and people would be like, how did you ever think of this? I was like, I just did a thing. The other one was, there's a cheese called Fenamundo, and it's a semi-firm, I mean, I could be butchering that pronunciation a little bit. That's why I always said it, Fenamundo. It's from Denmark. It's a semi-firm goat's milk, and it's studded with fennel seeds. And we have this pistachio cotton candy, which is basically if you took like halva and made it into cotton candy instead and had chopped pistachio in it. I paired them together. So good. So good. And it was, again, one of those things where you're like, how did you even think of this? And I'm like, I don't know. I just happen to have some. I was like, I'll see what this tastes like together. It's those ones you least expect where you're like, I'm just gonna try this. And you're surprised by how well things work out. Those two are probably the two that I remember the most. They're kind of my crowning achievements. And how in the heck did you come up with those pairings? Emily wanted to know, why are the cheese laws different here than in Europe? Well, I would argue that the cheese tradition there has been going on for hundreds of years. European cheese tradition is very old. Some cheeses have certain designations, much like they do for wine, with Champagne, Parmigiano Reggiano, that sort of thing. So rules there are a little bit different. It's been part of the culture, part of the tradition, part of how they make cheese for so long, versus here in America where, the FDA says raw milk cannot be safe in certain styles and certain quantities. However, there's also things that we can eat here that they can't eat in other countries. So, it depends on your definition of safe. It depends on what you do, how you eat. It's just, I think, like a lot of things, it's more ingrained in the culture there. So to them, it's just how it's always been. So why change? No one's dying in mass or something like that. So it's just a part of it. And for our final question, my favorite question, how much cheese is too much cheese? Well, let me tell you a story. So the first day I trained at my job, the very first day, I had 20 to 25 cheeses. That's about too much cheese. Now they weren't, full 1 ounce portions, which is what we give at the restaurant, but I was still eating, and I'm sure I had probably about 20 to 25 ounces of cheese over a couple hours, 2 or 3 hours, and I think that's about too much. That's about too much cheese, because at some point your mouth just stops tasting everything and it all just blurs together and you're like, I don't know what I'm doing or where I am. I just know there's a lot of cheese nearby, and that's about too much. Because then, like I said, at some point your taste buds are just like, I'm done. But yeah, it was a good day. Most people are asking me this, and they're like, 6 cheeses, that feels like so much. And I'm like, you don't even know. You've got no idea on how much cheese is too much cheese. 25. And I did that for 3 days. I did that not in a row, but definitely 3 days. I did about 20 to 25 a day. Just to get, because we were updating our menu, and the cheeses I didn't have day 1 or day 2, I was having day 3. And so, yeah, it was a lot. And I took notes from the first tasting, and then I might taste it again, 2-3 hours later. I'm like, cheese, it's in my mouth. I don't know what it is though. That's a lot. So if you're at a cheese conference, then like ACS or something, like a food and wine conference, eating a lot of cheese, that's when you're gonna run into stuff, because your taste buds just boop, goodbye. And that's it. Those were my answers to your submitted questions. If you have any more, please put them down below. Any comments, I will maybe address them at some point. That would be fun. And if you like this video, please like, comment, subscribe, share with your fellow cheese enthusiasts, enemies, bosses, person standing next to you on the subway. You're like, hey, look at this video. It's about cheese. You should watch it. Yeah, do that. That'd be fun. Bond. Share a communal love of cheese on commuter transport. My name is Kristen Mae Carbone. This is You, Me, and Brie Makes 3. Fromagere Fridays at 5 p.m. I will see you in the next one.